Okay, so today is a Shiketi Ed classroom post. I I live my life the way I live it because I had a lot of people that would be like so just ignorant and mean and just all these different things. And I would just like not even worry about it because it's just like I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what it is that has you wanting to say those things to me or do those things to me or whatever. I usually don't bother people. Like, I don't bother anybody. Like, I just try to stay to myself. And I knew that somebody was trying to find out things about me, which that's when I knew that it had to be like some kind of sociopathic person that's like following me or trying to figure out who I am and what I'm doing. And the only person that could do that is a student. Like, I'm thinking this has to be a student. Like, this can't be a real live human being. And sometimes it could be an adult, you know? So I get to the point where I'm just like, I don't want to be bothered by these people. Like, I don't want to, it's just like a lot. Even with the teaching, with the kids coming into the classroom. One year I was accused of being prejudiced or racist against the black students. It's just that I had a different experience in Texas than I did in St. Louis. So the students were black. They assumed that all of my students were Hispanic, but I had a mixed classroom. I had black and Hispanic children. So I never told them that. When I thought that somebody was actually stalking my page and all this different stuff, I just went ahead and blocked some of the students. Like, I just didn't even, the students that I knew were good, like the good students, I went ahead and blocked because I was like, I don't want anybody, especially these students, coming for you. Because one student, she's really manipulative and like she's just a manipulator because she is. And I know that, like, I just read something where it's like you can't tell that this kid is like this before this time. Yes, you can. You know by third grade if that kid is a criminal. You know it. As a third grade teacher, you know that this kid is a delinquent or not. Sometimes even second grade, because some of the shit they do is just out of fucking control. It's to a point where you just like, what kid actually does this? What kid continues to do these things? So I got to the point where I'm just like, okay, like, what is it? Like, who is it? I've been asking the question. I was like, okay, well, I'm still going to do my blog because I had a lot of stuff to get over. Like, I had so much stuff to get over. Like, I had to go through every part of my life and be like, okay, because when I first had my first initial thoughts, it was just like, oh my God, like this person did this to me and this person did that to me. When really it was just like a bunch of hitting and touching and all, like just all this different stuff that just led me to be pissed off. And then like people not actually hearing me, like not actually listening to me say, hey, this happened to me. And somebody just actually looking and saying, wait a minute, okay, well, let's see what we can do about this. Like, let me help you fix this problem. Now, after all this stuff, I'm back at a point where I'm still this kid and I'm just like stuck in this place where nobody wants to help me. Like, where everybody has some reason to take something away from me. And it's not even like I even want half of the stuff, But for the things that I do care about, it's just like, why come and do that? Like, why come and threaten that for me when everything else has been taken away from me? And that's the whole thing. It's like, I have been through so much. I have. And now it's just like little shit that's just like coming to these big things. Like, okay, well, let's just do all this and take more from her because that's just what we have to do. That's the protocol. So the recent thing that happened that makes no sense at all is, okay, first I missed my rent. I just forgot about it. I can't even be like, okay, that's somebody else's fault. That's not somebody, it's my fault. But the part that got me is like, I'm at home and I need my locks changed because somebody is messing with my door. And I don't think people understand because first they were messing with my tires. I kept doing my show. This time they messed with my door. So me and my child were in the house, and I heard the dog bark, and we go to the door, and the lock was the bottom lock was kind of turned. And so at first I didn't think anything of it. I just went ahead and, okay, let me make it a story. Let me not think about it. Then the blender came up broken, and the TV was broken, and it's like anytime I go walk the dog, when I come back, some electronic thing would be broken. So then I started locking the door. Well, even if I lock the door, when I come back, some electronic thing would end up broken. So at first it was my car. I stopped going to work. Then when I got home, they wanted to come in and mess with the electronic stuff. So every time something comes up broken, I just go in and throw it away. So now to the point where it's just like I have called the police. The police were like, well, what do you want us to do about it? Well, I don't know who's doing it. I just need somebody to watch out for what's going on. I tried to tell the maintenance guy. So I started talking to the maintenance guy, like having a conversation with the maintenance guy. And that's when all this stuff happened. So as I'm talking to the maintenance guy, whatever, I'm telling him, hey, something is going on. And please, I'm letting you know that it's an ex of mine who I think is pretending to be Hispanic and all this different stuff. And I go tell the manager, I'm like, I think the person, because this is what happens, the dog nipped at somebody's foot. So I go tell the person, I tell the manager, hey, I don't think, and then he says that the dog bit him on the leg. And it's like, no, but because he had on boots, me and my son just stood there and watched the man. Like, we didn't say anything to him because if you got insurance, hey, So I just let him do it, Well, I let the manager call me, and she's like, well, the dog did all this stuff. Make sure the dog has their shots and all this different stuff. It's always something. So I went to go make sure the dog had the shots. Still I'm going to be short on rent because I got to do all this other stuff, So I check the dog. I get everything into the dog. I get in my anxiety letter. I get all this stuff together. And here comes the guy. Like she says, well, the guy didn't do anything. Well, he shouldn't have done anything because he really was just trying to either try to make me do all this stuff or check on a dog, whatever, So, the thing is, he lied and said the dog bit him and scratched himself on the leg. The dog didn't even do anything to him. So now it comes to the point where here comes this guy coming into our apartment. And he's a maintenance guy, really nice, a kind person. Comes into the apartment. And the dog, she's like, whatever, get away from her. Which is right, because this is our apartment. Like, the dog is just protecting us. We didn't get a chance to put the dog away because they were supposed to be just at the front door. Like, nobody told him. She said, well, you invited him in. And it's like, no, I didn't invite him in. He came into the apartment. Like, he just came. He had the lock in his hand and he walked through the apartment. Did not give us time to put the dog away. So I'm just like, So then they come in, your dog is aggressive. Well, the dogs have attacked my dog like so many times. The dog goes to the dog park, no problem, And that's when I started thinking, is it somebody out here with some kind of device? Because, again, somebody just wants something. So I noticed this white woman, she has like this Akita dog. Every time this woman walks by with this dog, our dog could be like laying down in the car, not even knowing the dog is there. She gets up and she barks. So it's almost like, okay, this has happened like 2 times. I told my son to notice it. Then the woman stopped coming by. But what's happening is like, even with the guy, when he got the car, the dog just was like, because we thought the guy was suspicious in the first place. So then she says, well, this is the irrigation guy, and the irrigation guy has to come here all the time, And it's like, but I've never seen the irrigation guy. Also, this is something else that happened. I recorded inside my apartment about the situation because I was afraid. Like, I was like, this is an ex. Like, he acts just like my ex. Like, the one that does not need to be next to us. The one that does not need to be near us. The one that does not need to have anything to do with us, you know. I told her that. Like, I told, you know, actually, no, I didn't tell her. I recorded that inside my apartment. So then, the next day, he walks by so I can see his face. Because I recorded something like about his face or whatever, you know. So he walks by so I can see his face. It could be from the whole thing, my show. It could be for something else. But really, I'm thinking, okay, is this person listening to my conversations? Like, what's going on? Because I did not need to see him again. If you had a situation with the dog, why do you keep walking past my apartment building trying to see the dog? So then we were all outside. I was walking and I was taking the trash out. The same kind of looking guy is dressed up now as like he's cutting grass, like he's part of the crew. So I come out and it's like 3 white women and an apartment manager, and they look at him and they're like, you know, looking at him like maybe he knows me or he's supposed to say something to me or whatever. I just rush past because I know that he stops so that I could, usually they stop way before that, but he stopped so that I could walk by. So I just ran by and I just like went on my way. So I'm thinking, okay, now does the apartment manager know about this guy? Like, what is it that they want from me? Like, what is it that I have done for these people to constantly be flying around me trying to figure out who I am and what I'm doing and what I'm about and where I gotta go and what's wrong with my car and what's going on in my apartment and all this different stuff. And it's so frustrating because, again, why? What have I done to you? And if it's the ex, it's because he's stolen from me. He stole from me, and then he wanted to act like I did something to him. So then he goes around and says, well, I don't want anything to do with her. I just don't like her, you know, or I'm going to protect her son from her. Or I'm going to do all this different stuff. And it's like, but no, you're not doing that. So yesterday I got so angry. I mean, I was so pissed off because I'm just like, no, you can't take the dog from me because I need the dog. Like, the dog is all I have. And I'm dealing with this person that could possibly be crazy, you know. And I've been telling people like somebody crazy is fucking following me and doing this shit and telling it. And that's the stuff he does. He just tells. He'll just keep telling until he gets what he wants, until he gets what he needs. He'll manipulate the whole situation until he gets what he wants. And so that's the scary part, is because nobody is listening. Nobody is hearing what I'm saying to them. Everybody's acting as if what I'm saying is like I'm the person is like something is wrong with me. It's like I'm not. This dude is actually fucking crazy. Like he is actually crazy. And the only way you can just like deal with a crazy person is you just gotta leave them alone, or they gotta leave you alone. And I don't know what to do about that. And so that's the part that leads me to be like, I'm so fucking scared. Because why take the dog? Like, why take the dog? If you know the dog is protecting me, why take the dog? And that's like the scariest part. The scariest part is like I have been around so many sociopathic people that it's almost like they would have you believe that I was doing something to them when I'm not. I come home, I work, I do my artwork, I post, I do my show. I talk about what I have as anxiety. I talk about the school. I talk about all this different stuff. And it's like I still have all these people still around me that are just not right. They taking everything that I've done in my classroom and just like making it like I'm some evil bitch or whatever. I have not hit anybody's children. I have not talked down to anybody's children. I haven't done that. But as far as the people, the adults in my life, yes, I have. I've called people bitches. I've cussed them out. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I've done it. Because it's been like I've been pushed to the point where it's just like she just said, Shantae, you're gonna give us the dog. The dog has to go. So it's like, no, the dog does not have to go anywhere because the dog did not do anything. Like, the person is the people that are walking past the dog. Like, why you keep doing it? Like, for what? And I know that they have something. It's either a whistle, some kind of device